You're listening to the Happy Workaholic podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. This show was once about business, LinkedIn, and my life with an autoimmune disease. And then one day I found out I was misdiagnosed, so I had to switch things up a bit. Life is so short, and when you're given a second chance, you better believe I'm going to take it, celebrate it, and share it with you. I'm on a mission to help women take their business and life to that next level they deserve to be at. This show is intended to elevate your mind, upgrade your business, enhance your life, and become part of a positive and uplifting community. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today, and I cannot wait to share these amazing stories of other female entrepreneurs who will be featured on the show. If you have a story or brand you want to share, send me a message on Facebook and Instagram today. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic. I would love to connect with you. Do you want a live chat during this episode? Make sure you're listening on iHeartRadio. I'm here to remind you to work hard, stay humble, follow your dreams, and never, ever give up. Thanks for taking the time to subscribe to the Happy Workaholic podcast. And now let's get into today's show. Hey guys, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to today's show. This is a very special episode because it is my 1-year anniversary of being misdiagnosed, which I can't even comprehend. I'm going to try my absolute best to get through this episode without crying. I was just reading something, oh my God, I don't know if I can promise you this. Okay, so I want to start off by saying everything happens for a reason. And when things happen in your life and you don't know why, like, let's just be honest, it sucks. We're like, why is this happening to us? Why can't it happen to someone else? What did I do wrong? I don't deserve this. You know, thinking all the thoughts. And the more I really think about the last 365 days, it's just, I mean, really, it's the last 4 years, but like the last specifically 365 days, it's just absolutely insane what I've gone through, what I've put my body through, my mind, my friends, because they hear it all day long. It's just absolutely insane. So I want to share with you the story, things that I've gone through over the last year. Some you've probably heard a million times because I've talked about them on the show, but some you've never heard. I also want to tell you about, I also want to share with you, since I pride myself on providing the absolute best service in my business, I do the same with my podcast. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen. So if you or a friend or a family member, anybody that you know is going through something medical, something health related, I want you to take notes. I want you to go back and listen to my other episodes on how to be organized with your health. I want you to watch my Med Chat Monday series that's on YouTube, because I am obviously not a medical professional, but what I am is a professional patient, and I am an expert in saving my own life multiple times. And I looked at it as a business, which I don't think many people would do or know how to do. So now that I've gone through this, I need to share everything that I've done so that I can continue to help thousands of other patients. And I've already helped hundreds. I get messages and emails and tweets and DMs all of the time. And it just goes to show you, like, that's why this happened, you know? Oh my God, this is going to be so hard to get through. I mean, this is why I think this had happened to me, because I am very loud. I can use my platform and my podcast to share a very important message that I need to maybe shine the light on other things that people don't know about, because I've lived through it and I've seen it over the last 2 weeks on other sides as well, which is absolutely insane that, you know, that happened for a reason and something else happened for a reason with myself again, medically. So I'm going to share all of this with you, but I just want to tell you that first, that if you are looking to figure out how to get organized and figure out how to follow up and get multiple opinions, whatever the case may be, and you can't find my content where I just mentioned, just send me a message, send me an email, contact me on my website, thehappyworkaholic.com, and I'll show you how to do it. I've done it for so many people already, a lot of my friends included, and these systems work. You know, I can tell you I'm not an expert in podcasting. I'm not an expert in LinkedIn. I'm very good at them. I'm very good at sales. I'm very good at marketing. I'm very good with any kind of business. But when it comes to being organized in your health, I am an effing expert. I will tell you every single thing you need to know to save your own life or someone else's, because it's up to you. You can't start blaming other people. Oh, well, the records. It's your job to check your own records. And unfortunately, systems are not in place that we can rely on. Well, you would assume that we can rely on for these things to be set in stone, for these things to actually be happening for us, to help us. But you, at the end of the day, it's your own story. It's your own records. You've got to check them. Okay, so let's start off by January 23rd last year. I had gotten my port out, which I posted yesterday all over my social media because I can't even believe I have had this metal device out of my body for a year already. I got that surgery to take it out January 22nd. And then my final appointment with my specialist, my neurologist, was January 23rd, which is today, last year. So I was high as a kite from these drugs they gave me to get my port out for like 3 days. So I couldn't drive. So I took an Uber to my appointment. It was, it was close to downtown San Diego. And it was at 5 o'clock, so it was like crazy traffic. Anyway, I got it in writing. It's official. I was misdiagnosed. And I mean, I fought this doctor hard for a couple of months. And I had, let's just like backtrack for a sec. So when I was diagnosed with NMO, I had seen 5 neurologists. When I was told I was misdiagnosed by my specialist here in San Diego, I didn't believe him at first. So I then consulted with 4 others. 4 others, because there's 10 total. And one of them being the top and diagnosing expert in the world called me personally on my cell phone. So that process had already been done. And then once I saw scans for myself and like everything else, a lot of stuff I legally still can't mention yet, but all of this had happened. So I needed it in writing. And so that was the appointment, January 23rd, 1 year ago from today. I left that office and I just like could not believe it. Like, you know that feeling when someone dies and you just don't, it's like a shock. And this just happened to me the other day, not with death, but again, the same exact feeling. And I'll share that with you later. But I just couldn't comprehend it. I was like, what the hell? I was laughing. I was crying. The last 3 years of my life were like hell. You know, I lost everything. And I can't remember anything. And it was just like insane, like how I lived a lie. Like I fought for my life, like every single day. And I was put on drugs that ended up like I was getting overdosed on, like all these things, which I know you guys know the stories. And if you don't, scroll back to any of my episodes and you can listen to them. But I ended up getting it. So I had this piece of paper. I had it in a white envelope. I remember that. And I took a picture of the building, not showing the name, and the white envelope. And I could not freaking believe it. And so I get in my Uber and I was just like hysterical. And then one of my best friends had called and my poor Uber driver. And I hung up the phone with my friend. I was like, oh, let me just call you back. Because I was still like a little bit high from these drugs, which is so insane. And I was just an emotional basket case, like hyperventilating, like the whole 9. So, and this guy's Uber. So he drops me off at the condo I was staying at. But on the way home, he's like, you know, I don't like mean to pry, but like what happened? And then he told me a story where his friend had like his something with his heart and it never should have happened, this surgery. And then he was in this huge malpractice case. And then that was the first time I was like, oh my God, a malpractice case. Like, I just didn't even, like, that was the next step. So then I started researching, and I think I drank like a bottle of wine that night. It was just a very emotionally charged, intense evening. Let's just say that. And I was still high. Again, I was so high for like 3 days. No joke. So the next day I woke up, I had the worst headache from crying hysterically. My nerves were shot. It was like a blackout. You know, you just don't know, like, what to do next. So I, like, went to the beach. I brought my journal. It was just like I got this new lease on life. Like, I didn't even know how to function. And then I realized that I had to stop all of the drugs I was on. So that was January 23rd. So from January 24th until about, I would say February. Was it February? Yeah, I think it was February. I was just like trying to figure out how to come off my meds, like dealing with all the doctors I had involved, making sure all my notes were up to date. I was misdiagnosed. Like, this is a lot of work, you guys. It's literally a full-time job. So I did all of that. I started coming off my meds. I'm not on any of them now. You know, I always say like a normal person, but who the hell is normal? Usually you should taper off things. And I read an article about somebody that tapered off the same drug, the same dose, and it took her 1.5 years. I did it in 2.5 weeks. Did I shock my system? Probably. But I wanted that shit out of my body. Are the toxins still there? Probably, because I'm like still feeling things. But it's not the way that I came off the meds. It's just like the shit is in your system. And there's only a couple labs that you can get done, which I'm going to do in hopefully like a month or so, that shows like what toxins are still in your system. If you go to a general doctor, you can't get this lab. It's about like $3,500, I think. And so that's what's next for me. So I can continue to heal in a holistic way, because that's the approach that I'm taking, like fueling my body with food so that I can heal. And so going back to my story, from February, really from January until June, January 24th is honestly when I started researching malpractice and just like trying to figure out like coming off my meds and the legal part and all of that. It was just so intense. So from January until June, I spent solid a minimum of 30 hours every single week, in addition to running my business, researching medical malpractice cases. Now, I live in California. My cases are in Nevada. I needed to find an attorney. I needed to find a firm. I needed to find somebody that was willing to take my case. Long story short, I called 131 total. I've been saying 111, but I forgot a few. It's 131. Not one attorney would take my case. There's a lot of factors involved, them being, the reason why they didn't want to take my case is because, one, I'm still alive. Two, I'm breathing. I don't need a breathing apparatus or a tube. I'm not missing limbs. I'm working, and I'm like, they were saying like I'm back to normal and I'm not dead. Like, I'm not dead and I'm not missing limbs, and I don't need breathing tubes. That's why no one would take my case. And they were lazy and they didn't want to travel. So that took a couple months in itself, just calling firms. I would say I called firms all the way up until April. And I had notebooks and lists and notebooks and lists. Like, I had everything mapped out like I was going to war, because I am. And so that's just the system. I mean, if you've seen how organized I am with my calendars and my highlighting system, then just think of that like multiplied times 6, because I was going after 6 parties. So everybody had their own little notebook, their own little situation, and I had to be on my A game. And so after realizing that I couldn't find an attorney, I realized I had to do it myself, which is why I was researching for so long. And I'd say like by mid-February, that's when I started researching like hardcore, like 35, 40 hours a week. Like, I upped my game, because Nothing can be found online about how to represent yourself as a medical malpractice attorney. And so I was stuck. Everything I was reading was personal injury. And excuse me, there's so much that says medical malpractice, but then you cross-reference and you're in a different state. Those laws don't count, or that way to approach it, you can't do it. So there's a lot of key factors in my legal strategies and cases that I had to go about. I mean, the research alone was just, it's so intense. So come June 10th, my birthday, I always launch something big. Well, what I did this year was I sent out my 6 medical malpractice legal cases. Before that, I actually moved forward with a medical approach, and then this was the legal approach. I attacked it on both sides. And I think I spent like 2.5 months just preparing the medical side. It was a 71-page fax. Let's just say that. My care packages on my birthday that I sent out were, I believe, 33 pages, 31 or 33 pages, because you have to have everything included, just like you're going to trial. So that's what I did. I figured it out. I taught myself every single thing I know. I took legal classes. I researched anything and everything you could possibly think of about how to put together a medical malpractice case. And after that, I realized I'm just one person. Like, all these other patients that either can't find an attorney, afford an attorney, have access to an attorney, like, I need to help them. And so I started this series called Med Chat Mondays, and it was all about how to help all parties involved. Whether you're the patient, the nurse, the caregiver, the attorney, the medical professional, like, everybody's involved when it comes to somebody's health, and like some part of another, like some piece of the puzzle they're included in, right, when it comes to your health. So I started sharing how you can be organized with your records and your health and all these things that I am an absolute expert in. But unfortunately, what I want to share, I can't show legally right now. So that is absolutely going to continue as soon as I can legally move forward with that. But right now, I'm still in the middle of my cases, so I can't show things. So it makes it very difficult to tell you something and not be able to show you. You know, it's like listening to a podcast if somebody's like putting on their eyelashes and telling you how to center it and wing out the liner. Like, you have no idea what the hell they're saying. So I kind of had to, I had to put a pause on that. And I was really upset because I just wanted to continue it, but legally I have a serious strategy and that comes first. So, you know, you always have to take care of your health and yourself first so that you can be the best for everybody else. So that series is coming out again soon. And by soon, I mean, hopefully like 2 months tops. So I just can't continue to video and show videos without like proof in my hand and like something to display. So that was put on hold, which is like really upsetting, but it's coming back. And so now we are in January, which I cannot believe. So the medical side is still ongoing. The legal side is still ongoing. I'm praying, literally, I am praying so hard that this is going to be done momentarily, because I just would like to move on with my life, to be honest with you. I'm sick of fucking talking about this shit. But, excuse my language, I know it's going to help many other people, but I have so many other things in the works that I need to do when this is done to continue to help thousands of other patients. And I can't legally do those things until my shit's done. And that's what's frustrating me, because at this point, they're just being assholes. And nobody wants to deal with an asshole, right? Okay, so that's the last year. That's insane. So now I want to share with you, and there's so many other things involved, and if you scroll back to like so many of my other episodes, you'll see them, you'll hear them, but now I just want to share with you guys again a couple of key factors that you absolutely need to know. So write these down or tell a friend or tell your family member. This is how you're going to save your own ass. This is how you're going to save your own life. If the time comes and you get sick and there are typos on your medical records and you're not following up, that's your fault. I mean, I hate to break it to you that way, but it is, because you have to take care of yourself. You can't rely on other people that have thousands and thousands of patients to give a shit. I mean, granted, we are very lucky that we can have some incredible doctors, and I do have incredible doctors. I've also had 5 assholes that gave me drugs for no reason. So, I mean, you can just have lucked out your whole life and had the most unbelievable doctor. You live in a small town. You never have to worry about records. But what if there's a fire and nothing's digital? It's all paper. You're screwed. You need to have backups. Catch my drift? Okay. I don't mean to be sound harsh, but this is like a reality. You know, you have to be prepared. And I said that in one of my last episodes, like how I'm a complete expert when it's when something happens and you're in utter complete chaos. Like, I thrive in that shit. Like, that's when I do my best work. Like, I feel like this is why, you know, I took on this illness as a business, and I was not going to let it kill me and not going to leave me blind and paralyzed. Like, I was obsessed with saving my own life, and I took it to an extreme. I'm not saying you have to do the same thing. I'm just saying you have to be organized and you have to have a system. You have to be strategic and you have to follow up. If you don't do these things, I can't guarantee that somebody's going to do them for you. You have to be on your A game at all times. And this is why I'm releasing a medical product I've been working on for a really long time, because I'm so passionate, if you can't tell by my voice and my F-bombs, about saving other patients. This product I'm developing is something that does not exist in the medical industry, and it's helping all parties involved. Again, just like my Med Chat Monday series, it's going to help the patient, the family, the caregivers, the nurses, the admins, the medical records team, your actual doctor, other types of nurses. Like, this product everyone needs, and it doesn't exist. And I cannot wrap my head around why, but I'm excited because now I can fucking create it. And so it's just going to be literally life-changing, because it's like a common sense product. Like, how does this not exist? You know? So that's what I'm doing. So please just stay organized with your records. If you don't have a system, you can go to the dollar store and this isn't something that costs money. Go to the dollar store, use what you have, see what kind of filing system makes the most sense for you. I highly recommend paper as well as digital. You need to be online with passwords saved somewhere for every doctor you have. You need to have everything written down, your prescriptions, your contacts, everything in your phone written down, both ways, because your iCloud could get all fucked up and then you're screwed. You could lose a piece of paper, you're screwed. Get it? Twice. Always back things up twice. I do this with my business, my health, like everything I own. It's actually multiple, because I'm like a little bit extreme, because I've been through this process and I just want to like triple check, you know? So as far as looking at something health related, you've got to have a strategy. And I'm going to get into that because I just had to do it this week. I did it this week. This week has been crazy. I almost just said it was last week. Last week was my best friend in the hospital all week. This week it was me. The key to following up, you know, if you are in business and you want to land a deal and work with somebody, collab with somebody, what do? You follow up. The same exact method needs to be with your health. For example, I had to go to my primary. I went backwards. I went from the emergency room to a surgeon, then back to my primary to then get the referrals. I demanded referrals. He didn't really want to do them. So you demand them. You are the patient and you say, actually, no, I want this referral and then I need this referral. So you're going to do them. I mean, you don't have to be rude about it, but I'm just sharing with you like the type of conversation I actually had to have yesterday. Like, they sometimes talk to you like they're a 2-year-old. You're a 2-year-old. It's ridiculous. Unfortunately, I couldn't get in with my actual primary, so this was like someone filling in. I just needed the damn referral. So do you think I'm going to sit around and wait for that referral? No. I've already called twice today, and I'll be calling tomorrow because I need to be with that doctor immediately Monday, because this is like a life or death kind of, not life or death, I shouldn't have said that. It's a very important surgery that needs to happen. If it has to happen, I was told that it had to happen this week, and it hasn't. So fingers crossed, and I'm going to share with you that in a minute. But the point of me telling you this is you have to follow up. I'm not sitting around and waiting for a letter in the mail. My very first time I was told I had MS 4 years ago, and I needed to be cleared by a neurologist before my fibroid surgery in less than 7 days. That was 5 working business days. I had to be seen by my primary, get the referral, then be seen with a neurologist in 5 days. And I'm sure you've heard this before if you've been listening to my show for a long time. I made that shit happen. I got cleared for surgery and I went under. That is how you follow up. And you don't have to be, rude about anything at all. It's just, this is business. Your body is your business. It's your own business. And you need to treat it like one. And don't let anybody tell you any different. You demand the time to be seen. You need a referral. It's just business. Don't take it personal, but this is the shit that needs to get done. So go ahead and do your job, get the referral. Things don't take 7 to 10 days. Some do, some don't. But when it comes to a referral, I've gotten them cleared in hours. And the key to that is just to be really nice and friendly, like my normal self. Or sometimes you have to be the opposite just to get shit done. It really depends on the situation. But I always feel like the best approach is to kill them with kindness kind of thing. And they're just trying to do their job too. So sometimes they physically can't. They need more approval. So then you go to the higher up. It's just like in business and in LinkedIn. Whenever I coach my clients, I'm like, who do you need to talk to? You're a CEO. Why are you talking to an intern? Talk to the damn CEO of the other company you're trying to pitch. That's what you do to get shit done. Same thing with referrals, okay? So please just stay organized. Figure out a system that's going to work for your strategy, for your family, for yourself, to stay organized with your records, back everything up, and then just never take no for an answer. You need multiple opinions. Go get them. I've had 10. I'm actually going to go get another one right now for something else. So it's insane what you have to go through. But if you don't look at it as a job, then you're not going to take it seriously. That's just my personal opinion because of my experience. And I'm an expert when it comes to organizing records, and I'm the queen of following up. That I can guarantee you. So something else I want to share with you is that I have a new series coming out on this podcast called The Professional Patient, and it is going to be absolutely incredible. And I'm telling you this because I've already recorded some of them. I have these insane stories that I cannot wait for you guys to hear. It's not about me. Not one episode is about me. I'm interviewing doctors, holistic doctors, therapists, patients, big influencers, celebrities. Everybody has stories about health. And I feel like, I know that the more we share and the more vocal we are, the more that we can help save each other and be healthy and just live a happy, healthy, positive, and productive life. That's what I've been saying for years. So that is coming out very soon. I cannot wait for you guys to hear these episodes. It's just mind-boggling how much we all have in common, yet our stories are completely different, because it all comes down to listening, reading, writing, and things that aren't getting done, and mistakes happen. It's just so crazy. So some of us have been misdiagnosed, some have not. Some are still living through a health situation. Some are the ones that actually diagnose. Some are the ones that treat after the fact. I'm in therapy. It's called EMDR. I'm actually taking a break on it right now because it's very, very intense. And I just would like to continue when I'm done with the legal. It's too much. I did it for many months. And it's hard to come out of a therapy where it specifically treats you for PTSD and trauma when you're still living through it. I'm still living through it. I can't picture myself dying in a chemo chair any more than I already have, because I still go to bed sometimes thinking like, okay, I had a good day. I love my clients. I love my life. I can't believe I have this disease, but I don't have this disease. And I forget sometimes. I mean, my memory is a whole nother level, but like, it's just insane. Like, I wake up and I forget. Like, I just have to still train my mind. Like, and that's the thing. Like, our minds are so powerful. I've been doing so much therapy just for my mind. I'm doing meditations. I'm doing these 8 and 10 and 12 hour sleep healing meditations. And with CBD oil, I wake up and I feel like I've slept like for a month. It's called New Meditations, I forget, but it's NU, not NEW, NU, and it's on YouTube. Check them out. You listen to them the whole night while you're sleeping. But I just like forget all the time that like I'm not sick. Something will happen and trigger me. So let's move into, actually, I just want to say one thing. There's this documentary on Netflix called Heal. You need to watch it. It's going to blow your mind. I've seen it 4 times. I'm actually going to watch it again soon. But there's certain things I can and cannot watch when I'm trying to heal, because it triggers like my PTSD and I get like super anxious, and there's like a whole lot of CBD oil that needs to be consumed. Let's just say that. Like, I don't need any more panic attacks, and sometimes watching that, it gives me them. So I have to like take a break. And that's like with a lot of things, not just that. But this Heal documentary is like, it's legit. Like, you just have to watch it. It's going to blow your freaking mind about how insane our minds and bodies can actually be in regarding to healing. So now I want to share with you what happened to me this week. Ironically, everything is getting anniversaried this week. So yesterday was the anniversary of getting my port out, as well as 7 years ago, I had to take like 4 weeks off of work when I was in Vegas because my fibroid situation was coming back and I couldn't be at work. And so I saw this picture, I posted it on my Instagram stories, where my staff had like decorated my entire office, like overlooking MGM. And it was all like pink balloons, like the whole arch thing. And it was just like insane. And I was like, holy shit, this was 7 years ago. And today I got my port out, and tomorrow's the 1 year anniversary. Last week I was in the hospital all week with my best friend. I ended up in the ER this week. So my story is, I've been working out and doing my walks, but like nothing intense. You know, I always post in my stories, I'm always at the beach. Sometimes I do stairs, but I haven't done the stairs because my knees were bothering me. And then my right knee specifically, I felt like I had a hole in it. It was the weirdest thing. And so I don't know how to explain this because I can't show you, but excuse me, I thought it was like some cartilage situation. So I went. They did an x-ray. Turns out I have arthritis in my right knee. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And he's like, well, we're not 20 anymore. And I had like my hair done and my makeup on. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not 20? He's like, you're not 20. So apparently I have like a little bit of arthritis in my right knee. And that's why it was bothering me, which is so weird. So I just continue to live the Tiger Balm dream. I love that shit. P.S. I'm obsessed with the smell. And I take an ibuprofen 800 as needed, and I try not to take them because I have this other situation. So while I was there, I said to him, I also have this problem with my stomach. Look at it. It looks like I'm 8 months pregnant. Meanwhile, I just lost 16 pounds since, I would say like honestly, since like Halloween or Thanksgiving, like when I weighed myself last. I'm just like going by Halloween, I guess. But over the last 2 weeks, I've lost 3 weeks, I've lost 10 pounds. So over the holidays, it's pretty good, right? 6 pounds. But I just want to lose, because I'm on a mission to lose 100 pounds. So 2.5 every week is perfect for me. So I'm down 16 pounds. I'm doing like all my meal preps, eating super healthy, but the only thing I'm doing is making sure I'm eating things that heal my body. That's my priority. I'm not doing salt because it's just not good for my vertigo. Long story. I'm not doing sugar because that's just too bad for anybody to consume too much. And so those are my priorities. That's how I'm eating. And so I should not look like I'm ready to give birth, especially after I eat and eat like the cleanest meal. I mean, if you guys have seen my soups and like what I eat, it's like all green. So it's very strange. And so he does an ultrasound and he's like, oh, you have gallstones. You need your gallbladder out like immediately. I lost my mind. Well, sorry, back up. I laughed hysterically for like a good solid 10 minutes. Meanwhile, I kept FaceTiming my best friend like every 5 minutes when somebody was in and out of my room and in the emergency room because they kept interrupting our conversation. And all I wanted to do was show her my beautiful gown because she was in hers all last week. And I'm like, are you like, how is this happening right now? I'm like, I literally came from my knee. And he just told me I need my gallbladder out. I need like major surgery. Like somebody's taking a body part out like tomorrow. I lost my mind after about 10 minutes of laughing hysterically because I thought like I was getting punked. Like I thought he was kidding. Like I couldn't I'm like, are you kidding? Like this is hilarious. And I just like was in complete shock. I could not comprehend like what he just told me. And still I'm like laughing and I'm like, it was just like a blur. Like nothing's wrong with me. I'm eating so healthy. I lost weight. Like what's wrong with my stomach? But I told him I feel like I have an ulcer. And last time I had an ulcer, I lived in Manhattan and I know what those feel like. And that's not fun. And so I had to meet with a surgeon. So I met with a surgeon the next day. And the first thing, go back. I cried my whole way home hysterically. My lashes literally had to be like cut open, like unstuck with like a butter knife. Like I glued my eyes shut with like tears, literally. I wish I could like show you a picture of how this you wouldn't want to see a picture, but my eyes were like glued shut from crying and I had like 8 coats of mascara on. It was not a pretty situation. I basically blacked out on the ride home. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, this is my year anniversary of being misdiagnosed. Now I need emergency surgery. It's 2 to 5 days in the hospital. It's 6-week recovery. I need to hire an at-home nurse. Like, all of the things were happening in my mind. And then I got angry. So angry. I cannot remember the last time I got angry because I'm in therapy not to be angry. And I was livid because I kept Googling all these things, which I can't legally tell you about right now. But I was like, I lost my mind. And I haven't done that in a really, really long time. So the next day I woke up and I was like, okay, so let's just line it all up. What needs to get done? Met with my surgeon, got an at-home nurse, figured out when I could do the surgery. I'm actually moving in 7 days. So how the F is this going to fit into my life? And I still don't even know where I'm moving right now. I haven't decided. So that's a lot. But I was like, if anybody can fucking handle this shit, it's me. So I'm going to bang out everything that needs to be done. And that's exactly what I did. So today is Thursday, Wednesday, okay, so I went to the ER Tuesday, went to the surgeon Wednesday. Went to the ER Monday, went to the surgeon Tuesday. Yesterday was Wednesday. I met with my primary that I was telling you about with the follow-up referrals. And then that happened today. It's happening tomorrow. Then I need to go see 2 specialists. And we're going to move forward from there. But I'll have the referrals done. I will already see those doctors next week. And I will have an answer and a surgery date if this shit needs to happen. Cross my fingers, it doesn't. But I'm on a specific diet to heal, like inside. I'm on the brat diet, which a lot of chemo patients do. And I've done, obviously, before. It's very, very bland. And it's just you need to I juice every day. And I think the acid and the green juices and just like all the greens, I think my body just needs to be coated. And last night I had the hardest time finding these ingredients, like these products. I need everything, whole grains, whole wheat. I don't eat that kind of stuff. And then I wasn't doing salt and sugar. So it's impossible to find organic, no salt, no sugar, just grain, just wheat. It was really hard. And I ended up finding the lowest dose of it. And then rice and crackers and bananas and apples. I just made homemade applesauce. I actually hate applesauce, but apparently mine's delicious. I don't know. If you're looking for a baby food chef, I'm here for you. Check my Instagram stories because it was so good. Excuse me. And I'm just like kind of sidetracking here, but you just need to go look at my Instagram stories. And if you're watching this after it airs, just click on my highlights January and you'll see. So I had to go to the store and buy all this new food. Granted, I'm moving, so I'm trying not to buy any food because I prep. So I just like do like a week's worth at a time. But now I need to eat all this other stuff to like heal my stomach. So it's bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast. That's the brat diet. And again, it's like for a lot of chemo patients and a lot of people that are sick, it's like really smooth on the stomach and organs. And that I'm concerned about my gallbladder. So that's a really good diet. And then there's also a different diet for ulcers and a different diet for gallbladders. So I'm trying to incorporate the three together and just eat things that won't like trigger anything inside me because I don't have time for surgery until mid-February. So I'm just trying to like trick my body and hope for the best at this point. But it's crazy how life works because all last week, if you listen to last week's episode about how to thrive and become an expert in complete chaos, I was with my best friend in the hospital all last week. I was sitting there. Actually, here's the funny story. I was with my friend and the nurses came in and they were like, okay, is there anything else that you need? And then I'm like, no, we're good. Thank you so much. Like we said it at the same time, but I started off first because I forgot I wasn't the patient. And I looked at her and I was like, oh my God. I'm so used to being in that cot. So I answered for her. It was the funniest thing. Still, obviously, because of laughing. Like, it was just so funny. And I was able to see another perspective and see things with different eyes because I was the patient. Now I was like another caretaker kind of, and like seeing it with like on the nurse's side and seeing them talk to the doctors, but not from a patient perspective. I needed that for my product. See, everything happens for a reason. I'm not saying that's why she was in the hospital though, but just to have that perspective. Now, do I need major surgery and my body parts removed to show me another perspective for my product? I hope not. But I did learn a lot and did remind myself to look back at certain things I had started writing about and researching about following up and the way that the doctors go, like their order. And I needed that meeting, that appointment I had, not with my primary, but with another doctor affiliated, so that I could take notes on that shitty appointment I had to add that content to this medical product I'm creating. So it all works out. Everything happens for a reason. We don't know. The universe is always sending us signals and signs and all this shit. And you know what? At the end of the day, we can only try to live our best life and just be as healthy as possible. And I mean, that's just what I'm trying to do, and help as many patients as I possibly can with this new medical product, my Med Chat Monday series, my professional patient series that's coming out on this podcast, and other things that I have in the works. But those three I can say legally. I cannot wait for the episode that I can not have to worry about saying things legally. So I feel like that's everything I wanted to share with you guys. I'm glad I didn't start crying again, and I'm laughing because this is honestly how I want to continue living my life. Like, shit happens to everybody every day. It's good, it's bad. We learn lessons. Like, you know, it all comes back to the universe and signs and believing in things and the power of our minds and bodies. And you know, you just have to do what's best for you and your family and your friends and your business and whoever else is involved in your life at the end of the day. And that's it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I was a little bit harsh saying a few things, but that's just like me being passionate. That's how I really feel. And I just feel so strongly about certain things because it is our job to stay organized with our medical records. And if you do need any help in organizing any records or you need any tips, please reach out to me because I have so much info for you. It will really, really help you. I mean, dealing with anything medically related is always going to be stressful. So at the end of the day, at least if I can save you a little bit of stress, like I would love to do so because I've already lived through this shit and I'm living through it again now because, I don't know, some body parts might be coming out soon. I just still have to laugh because, like, you can't make my life up. And I say this all the time, but, like, you can't. And it's so funny because, actually, I'll hold that story for something else. But I think that's all I need to share with you guys. This is actually a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But I like to ramble on when I'm really, really passionate. And I got through my whole page of notes just because I didn't want to forget anything. But if you are somebody that is looking to move forward with a medical malpractice case legally, I would love to share with you how I did mine. So just reach out. Facebook, Instagram, you can find me at The Happy Workaholic. You can always visit my site, thehappyworkaholic.com. Just send me a message there. You just click on the Contact Kelly page or it says Contact Kelly or Work With Me or something. And you can reach out to me there. Obviously, I am not a medical professional. I am not an attorney, just dealing with my own case. But I would love to share with you the tips and tricks that I've used to, save me some, I don't even know, just save me some stress, really. But thank you guys so much for all of your support, like liking, commenting, sharing. I mean, the more times we can share our stories, the more times we're able to help other people because they're reading our content, and that goes with everything. But when it comes to something medically related, I think this by far is the most important because we need to continue to save lives. And this is just my way of doing it with this podcast. So thank you again so much for listening. Now I think I'm going to cry. Oh my gosh, it's 45 minutes. Jeez. Okay, I'm logging off and I hope to hear your feedback. If you guys have any comments, questions, please just leave them on Apple Podcasts. You can rate, review, and subscribe. It would really mean the world to me if you would do that. I'm trying to get 200 comments by my 200th episode. Share this episode with friends who need it or family members. And that's it. I'm logging off. I'm going to get ready to celebrate this anniversary day. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you liked this episode, please share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this message. And don't forget to tag me at The Happy Workaholic on Facebook and Instagram so I can feature you on my stories. And if you have 2 minutes and listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, I would love it if you could leave me a review. Those messages mean so much to us podcasters, and they really help me create more of the content that you'll love. Want to continue today's conversation? It's simple. Head to Facebook and search for the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group. Answer the questions and you're in. For more information on myself, coaching programs, weekly newsletter, and more, visit thehappyworkaholic.com. The Happy Workaholic Podcast is part of the iHeartRadio Podcast Network. Be sure to follow the Happy Workaholic Podcast on iHeartRadio or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. I hope that your day continues to be happy, healthy, positive, and productive, and I'll talk to you again soon.